All righty, welcome back, everyone. Robin, it's all yours.
Thank you, and welcome back to the Sustainable Business Awards celebration, where we award people in New England who are doing it right. You know, sustainable, local, green, doing good for our area. And we're going to be hearing more from them. But you might be wondering, well, how do we do this? This work that SBN does, and it's just amazing, as you know. Well, we get a lot of help, and so we'd actually just to listen for just 1 second, because we're going to introduce one of our presenting sponsors. This is Vanguard Renewables, and we've got Billy Connelly Sr., who's Organics Market Manager, just to say hi. Hi, Billy, and thank you so much.
Hello. Do I make my pitch now?
You do.
Well, it's great to be here. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share just a couple of moments with you, and just to give you an idea of how bizarrely connected this community is. Eric Levy and I met in 1990 when he was bringing his first loads of cardboard to Jetaway Waste Technologies, my employer. So you never leave the waste world. So congratulations, Eric, and Joe, yeah, and Gilded Tomato, everybody. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak here. I'll try not to take up too much time. I do have some things written down here. What Vanguard Renewables does, and you can also find us at foodwaste.com. That's a heck of a lot easier to remember. We recycle commercial food and beverage waste and packaged food residuals into renewable energy and tons of environmental and community benefits on 5 family dairy farms across Massachusetts. We also have projects in Vermont, Colorado, and 30 projects in development across the US. We generate greenhouse gas reductions, low carbon fertilizer, which gets used on the farm. And we help our partners, including Agrimark Cabot, who's here with us tonight, to recycle their what otherwise would be waste into these farm benefits, and help them to complete that farm to table, back to farm virtuous circle. And we support their ESG goals and their community and sustainability goals. And we're delighted to be part of the SBN community. And we are just super delighted to be here, and look for us at foodwaste.com to learn more about how you can recycle commercial food, beverage, and packaged waste into all these wonderful environmental benefits. And thank you again.
No, thank you for being a sponsor and making this possible. We really, really appreciate you. And now we're going to get back to our program. We've got several more awardees and people who are giving testimonials for them. I want to remind you too, we have the chat section, which is great. I mean, Nicola has been thanking Joe Johnson for bringing his product to Jerkfest, and Annie from SBN is putting up everybody's emails, all the awardees, so you can get in touch with people, get in touch with each other, and continue to network. So make sure you get in the chat and chat. And now we bring in Jed Davis, Cabot Creamery Co-operative, to set up our next awardee, Luther Belden Inc. Farms.
Hey, Robin, thanks so much. Really appreciate having you as the face and the voice of this tonight. This is such a fun event, and congrats to SBN Massachusetts in general, but I'm really excited to get to introduce you all to the winner in the category of local farm. And this is a farm where, I'm going to try my best not to get emotional, because it's a farm I've just known forever. Like literally, my father knew Darryl and Lucinda's relatives and worked with them. And this is a family farm that was one of the founding members of our dairy cooperative. And, there are a lot of folks that talk about sustainability, and one of the yardsticks that I think is really poignant is that ability to take a business and have it be generational. And the folks at Luther Belden Farm, the Williams family, they take this to an extreme, literally back to 1661. And, dairy cows have been a part of this since the early 1960s. And, Darryl and Lucinda, we're talking, so I grew up on a farm in central Massachusetts. I'm generation 6 on that farm. Darryl and Lucinda on their farm are generation 12, and their son Jackson and Jill, his wife, and their kids are generations 13 and 14. Wow. So, this sort of longevity doesn't happen just by chance, and what I really appreciate about the Williams family is their approach to farming. They recognize roles for important practices and how they tend to their fields and to their soil and to their crops, but they're also very innovative in how they've incorporated technology, into their farm. But they are very focused on, really, I noticed 3 things. They're very focused on community, and no doubt after being in that community for 350 years, you can see where that's a very synergistic relationship. Secondly, they understand the importance of the care and the well-being of their animals, and all that's involved in that. And then finally, they just look at farming through a lens of environmental stewardship. And I really appreciate that, because, we really try among all of our family farms to share best practices and try to lean in on stewardship on all 3 bottom lines, but environmental in particular. And I just, before I introduce, I just want to say the other thing that's remarkable is as busy as they are with their farming, they have always been involved in other organizations, at the community level, at the national industry level, and most especially within our co-op, in roles of succeedingly more commitment and up to and including a legacy of multiple generations of the family that have served at the board of directors level. And it's my great pleasure tonight to congratulate heartily the winner of this year's the 2022 Local Farm Category Award, and the Williams family. I think I've seen Darryl and Lucinda and maybe even Jackson too. And, out there in Hatfield, Massachusetts, congratulations and job well done.
Jed, thank you. And let's bring in the 2022 Sustainable Business of the Year in the Local Farm Category Award winners, Luther Belden Inc., Hatfield, Mass., Darryl and Lucinda Williams, not the singer, but
Woo!
congratulations.
We got our son Jackson just poked his head in here a minute ago.
Oh, and Jackson too.
Jack and Jill have got the kids, so they're busy wrangling them tonight.
Well, we like picturing it, but we have a romantic notion of a farm, and it's damn hard work. So how do you do it in the ways that we were just hearing described, sustainably, environmental stewardship? What are some of the things that you do there on the farm?
Well, it's really multiple. I mean, one of the best assets we have on our farm, we're here in the Connecticut River Valley and some of the most fertile land in this country. And so we feel it's our role, and we're a generational farm. So this is my generation, Lucinda and my turn to take care of this land. And we want to leave this land in better shape than it was before, so that Jackson and his family can continue to farm, and hopefully it can go beyond them. So that is one of our things that are very important. We now do no-till farming as much as we possibly can, which helps build up our soil and keep keep it from blowing away. It saves topsoil and improves our crops, and it makes our land more ready for this climate change that we're all experiencing.
Yeah.
So.
To explain the biodigester that you have on the farm.
So we have an anaerobic digester. So all the manure from our cows goes into this digester. We go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, plus we take liquid food waste in. So that's another way, you know, all of that does not get put into landfills, which is illegal to put into landfills in Massachusetts. So that's the other source, the manure and the liquid food waste.
So that goes into our digester. And I want to just shout out real quickly that our partner for the digester, I believe she's on the call, Rashi Aki from Agrid Energy. We couldn't have done all this without her. She is our partner in this business. So all the manure and the food waste go into our digester. It makes methane gas. The methane gas is then used to power an engine, a 300 kilowatt engine, which then powers part of our farm. And then all the excess energy, all the excess electricity is then sold to local municipalities.
Yeah. We know
So then the rest, the manure digestate that is left, and that of course is spread onto the fields. We grow most of the food that our animals eat. And so that goes back into the soil. We grow, you know, our own crops, we feed the animals. So that whole cycle then just keeps going.
And we know this has been since 1964. And as you said, generation after generation. I'm just curious. I mean, how wonderful. Has there ever been one that hesitated? I mean, farming's hard. So.
Well, I tell people all the time, you certainly do not do dairy farming for the time off or the money, because those are not benefits. There are a lot of other benefits that we get, but the time off and the money, those are scarce. We've felt strongly that we should not push any of our children to do farming. It needs to be an individual decision every time, because it's hard enough when you love it most in the world. And if you feel obligated to do that. So Jackson would have to speak for his reasons for coming back, but we were sure glad he did.
Right. And one of the things we want to be progressive in this. And so when Jackson and Jill decided that they wanted to do this, that's when we decided we needed a little bit of a reboot. We built a new barn for our milking herd. We added 3 milking robots to milk our cows. And then we added the digester in hopes that we can prepare this farm for the next generation.
Yeah. And the way that you do it sustainably, well, of course, it benefits you because it's generational, you know, it sustains the land. Could you make more money if you didn't do that?
If we didn't do what I
Do it
lost.
sustainably. I mean,
Oh.
no till, if I understand it, and just
No, I think doing it sustainably makes us more profitable. To be honest with you, the no-till, growing our corn and our hay crops, no-till, it has a great benefit to the soil. Actually, we save diesel fuel because we're not tilling all that ground. So we do it not only because it benefits the soil, but also it benefits the farm and helps keep us as close to profitable as we can be.
fantastic. And there's the generations within your family are one thing, but we know that you, of course, have to hire outside. And how do you approach that? Because I'm understanding you might bring in young workers that don't have any farming background.
We've always done that, and we've had high school students, we've had college students. UMass Amherst is right across the river from us, and so it's hard to find people that have grown up on dairy farms or in farms and then actually want to come and work for our farm. They're probably going to be at their farm. And so we, even like right now, we've got 4 high school seniors that work part-time for us, and they're interested in agriculture, and it's great to have them. And we love teaching them what we do, and it helps prepare them for their future. And actually, I think 4 of them are seniors this year looking to into the field of agriculture, which we're really happy about.
Well, and I will just say too that, you know, it used to be that everyone had a connection to a farm, and then the years go by and people have said, oh, my grandfather used to have a farm, and I would go there in the summer to their farm. And then the years go by and people have no connections to farms anymore. So we're so excited when we can, you know, we're excited now when you have people who do have an interest in farm, but also when we have, you know, city kids who come to college in Western Mass and then they try out, you know, milking with us for a little while. So we love to be able to give that experience as well.
But what would you say to someone, you know, it's such an idealistic thing. I want to get into farming. I'm going to live off the land. Give a little bit of advice.
My advice to that would be, you got to really be passionate about it. You got to love about it. And we've heard about, you know, some businesses and everybody before us, and everybody's pretty passionate. And so if you're passionate about it, you can make a go at this.
And I do just want to do a shout out to Joe Johnson for his using Cabot butter.
Yes.
And that bone sauce. So thank you very much. We're some of the farmer owners of Agrimark Cabot. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Joe.
Well,
Anytime. Thank you, guys.
well, thank you. And Lucinda, I love your music. No, kidding.
Yes.
Darryl,
She has a great voice, Robin.
Hey, listen,
She really does.
the other Lucinda Williams that sings, her birthday is today. And my birthday was yesterday. So see, we really are cosmic.
Stop. My head's exploding. Congratulations to both of you. Congratulations. And now we're going to go on to our next awardees and our next presenter. And we have someone who I actually want him to explain a little bit of what his group does. But to help us honor Berkshire Bank, we have Keith Fairey, who's president and CEO of Wayfinders. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Robin, and good evening, everyone. Wayfinders is a regional affordable housing and community development organization serving Western Massachusetts. So we're keeping it in Western Massachusetts with these 2 last presentations. We work from homelessness to home ownership, working with communities, urban, rural, suburban communities, to really create a more equitable and thriving region through housing stability and economic mobility initiatives.
Well, okay, so there's that. So why don't you give your testimonial for our next awardee? I'd
be delighted to. Happy to be here with Gary from Berkshire, and really to praise the Berkshire team for their award, but also for what makes them a different bank. Berkshire is a community bank that's really invested in being a partner, and they've been a partner to us in many ways, from working with us on our financial literacy and credit success programs for people who are trying to improve their wealth building power and economic opportunity, both by providing us resources and actually time with their skilled staff to help our clients reach their goals. They also work with us in our subsidiary that works with small businesses that are not yet bankable, and have supported us with pre-loan technical assistance for our community development financial institution called Common Capital. And then they actually roll up their sleeves and are not afraid to be in it for the long haul when things get tough. And I've seen that firsthand where we've been involved in projects and they've helped work through hard times and have stuck with organizations to get the project done, seeing that the long-term benefit is better than the short-term reward of kind of moving forward in a negative way on a project, but really being there as a long-term partner. And I describe them as the opposite of a photo op or drive-by funder. You know, those folks who stand up there with a check and then you never see them again until the next time they give you a check. Sometimes that's nice because you don't want a lot of people in your business all the time, but they're in our business in a really good way. They really engage with us. And so those smiles and relationships you see around around those photo ops are real and earnest. And I'm really excited to be here to congratulate Berkshire on the work that they've done to earn their award here on doing something that's innovative and really informed by their engagement in community and figuring out what communities need and figuring out how they can best serve them. So I want to congratulate Berkshire and thanks for the opportunity.
Well, Keith, thank you. And now let's bring in the 2022 Sustainable Business of the Year Local Bank category, Berkshire Bank in Boston, Massachusetts. Let's bring in Gary Levante, the Vice President of Corporate Responsibility and Culture for Berkshire Bank. Gary, congratulations.
Robin, thanks for that. And more importantly, Keith, thank you for the warm introduction and kind words. But really, the congratulations should go to you and Wayfinders and all the work you and all of our nonprofit partners are doing across our 5-state footprint to unleash the potential and provide equitable access to individuals in our communities.
Well, there you go, a little back at you there. But talk about how your bank is different, socially responsible, founded in 1846, financial centers throughout New England and New York, with a mission to empower the financial potential of individuals, families, businesses, and organizations by making banking available when, where, and how it's needed. I'm sure every bank would say that. Why is yours doing it? How are you doing it?
Yeah, and you're right, Robin. Every bank across the country could say something similar, but what we do is we like our actions to speak louder than our words. And since our founding in 1846, we've always worked alongside our partners, our customers, our employees, and our shareholders to unleash that untapped potential that exists within all of our neighborhoods so that we can create more jobs on our main streets when small businesses open their doors, so we can help individuals unlock the door to that new home that they got for the first time. And we do that through our financing activities, through the financial solutions that we offer to our customers, to our partners. We do that through our philanthropy, our employee volunteerism, but we're actually leading the way forward. Earlier this year, we became the first community bank in the country to issue a sustainability bond, a $100 million bond, where we're going to use those proceeds to exclusively finance affordable housing projects, renewable energy projects, and other types of initiatives that have social and environmental benefits. The other piece, Robin, when I think about leading with action, we all have a banking relationship, most of us, if not all of us on this call. But how many of us actually think about how important that decision is of where we place that banking relationship because of how your bank takes that money and then reinvests it in the community? I'm really proud that, independent groups have said Berkshire reinvests those deposits that we take in our local communities at a rate that's 70% higher than the industry average. That means when someone opens up an account in one of our branches in the Pioneer Valley in Western Massachusetts, that money is being reinvested in local communities, just like it is in Rome, New York, or in Boston, Mass, or Manchester, Vermont, or any of the places that we operate.
We'll talk about the best community comeback commitment.
Yeah, so back into 2021, as we were coming out of the pandemic, we went on a tour across our markets to listen, to meet with our partners, to meet with our customers, to understand how we could help build more resilience in our community, how we could help support a more equitable recovery, and how we could build a more sustainable future for all of us and tackle climate change. And that's really what gave rise to our best community comeback, which is a $5 billion plan over the next 3 years to lend and invest and harness our human capital to unleash that potential in our communities across 4 thematic pillars. And that includes fueling small business, financial access and empowerment, funding environmental sustainability. We're helping to increase home ownership. We're helping to deploy and we've already deployed over $1 billion in capital in low and moderate income neighborhoods across our footprint to create jobs. So we're already showing early progress. But not only are we looking outward, but we're looking inward. How can we build a better and stronger bank for all of our stakeholders? We've recently, transitioned almost all of our electricity supply to renewables. We're at 99% renewable electricity across our entire market, and we're working hard to get that last 1%, which I think some folks in this room know. Sometimes that last little bit can be the hardest to achieve.
Yeah. Well, we want to congratulate you, Gary Levante, Senior Vice President of Corporate Responsibility and Culture at Berkshire Bank. They actually walk the talk. Gary, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Robin. Congratulations, everyone.
Okay. All right. Now to have our next awardee, we're going to, and give me 1 second here, bring in Sybylla Smith. And I am sorry if I haven't got that right. Sybylla, what a lovely name.
Thank you. And
Yes.
that's perfect. Yes.
Because
Sybylla.
I know you're a broadcast person, a podcast host.
Yes.
I've got Punctum. It's a global platform exploring the creative process in conversation with contemporary photographers, artists, and curators. You write, consult, teach, curate in person and virtually from your home, your studio in Somerville, Massachusetts. Very cool. And you're going to help us honor Nüssli118. So go ahead. Oh dear.
Oh, you can't hear me. I just unmuted myself.
You,
I'm
yeah,
good
go,
now.
yeah. Okay, good. There you go.
Great. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to introduce Angela Hofmann, who is my friend, and I have had the privilege of witnessing Angela craft an idea into an identity to become an inspiration and to develop solutions. She's combined her talents, passion, kindness, intrepidness into a line of products that speak to health, wellness, empowerment, and agency. Nüssli118 puts one's health into our own hands by offering all organic, free trade, delicious solutions for us to live a balanced, active, engaged life. It's been my good fortune to be one of her original taste testers, and I have run, sometimes literally, alongside her long journey. And I am thrilled for Angela to receive this recognition for her entrepreneurial spirit and to honor her accomplishments as a woman-owned business. She's an engaged community citizen, and she's done all of this by parenting two amazing young adults along with her husband. So I'm thrilled that she's being honored for all these accomplishments.
Thank you so much, Sybylla. And now let us welcome the 2022 Sustainable Business of the Year in the local retail category award winner, Nüssli118, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and founder Angela Hofmann. Hi, Angela.
Hi, and Sid, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, and to all the other awardees, great job. It's been amazing listening to all the stories.
Well, tell us a little bit how this started for you. I understand you didn't feel well.
To say the least. So back when I was turning 40, I had a whole bunch of different ailments, from feeling sleepy all the time, exhausted really with raising two young kids. Just my digestion was poor. I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed there with pre-diabetes.
Oh.
And the doctor pulled out his prescription pill or his prescription pad and wanted to prescribe all kinds of pills. And I thought, there's no way that this is the answer for me. So I took a deep dive into nutrition and realized that food really is the foundation of health. And I started creating all of my own plant-based desserts from fruits and nuts and seeds, and bringing them to friends and family. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. They didn't even realize they were eating plant-based desserts. And I thought, I love being in the kitchen so much. I was an architect prior to my new business now. And
Really? An architect?
yes,
That
yes,
is so cool.
yeah. So I just fell in love with being in the kitchen and creating recipes and feeding my friends and family. And I started taking it to farmers markets. People loved it. And again, I got so much praise and repeat customers, and I just decided to start a business from there. So it was really a need that I had that I realized so many other people out there have.
Everything dairy, gluten, grain free?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. And we all, you serve on the board of directors for Cambridge Local First.
Yes, I do.
One of our favorite organizations. And you participate in the Boston Globe Media's Support Black-Owned initiative. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. When I first started my business, I really was thinking, I can do this on my own. I don't need, support. I have an amazing product. People are loving it. And then COVID hit and everything changed and everybody had to pivot. And I realized then the importance of community and of reaching out and, asking for support and giving support. And that's really when I started becoming more active in the community. And, it's just really, I feel like I've given and I feel like I've gained so much from that.
What would you say to people who are bringing, setting up little tables at festivals, and they've got their little table of the things that they're making, as you did, years ago, and don't know how to go from there to what you've done? What would the piece of advice be?
Actually, I think that somebody else said this is, to really make sure you have a passion for what you do, to share, to engage, to ask for help when you need it, and give help when people are looking for it. It's really, growing a business is really a community event. And I learned that in my last couple of years, things like, being part of, SBN and Cambridge Local First have really helped me grow my business. So I would say engage.
Yeah. And do people feel better? Are people telling you that if they've made this, and by the way, Michael Cantor, who says here, yay, Angela and her wonderful products. Do people say they feel better?
Yes, it's amazing to me. When I first started the business, nobody really was looking at plant-based foods as a way to, create health. And literally, I was at the farmer's market in Wayland, and an older gentleman came up to my table and he's like, I went plant-based, or not completely, and I'm not plant-based completely either, just full disclosure. But he's like, I feel so much better. My doctor's saying my numbers are coming down. And I get that kind of feedback a lot. It really is amazing how people are understanding that, they have to take their health into their own hands and eat healthier. And there are a lot of good options out there now.
Well, you're hearing from a lot of your customers, I think, on the chat. So don't forget to go there and congratulate the winners, but also let us know how you feel about some of the products we're talking about. But in the meantime, Angela, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I think we have one last awardee. This has been so incredible. It's just the range, the different things that people are doing. But we have our last awardee now, and we're going to hear first from Jamie Wolf, who's the founder and longtime proprietor of Wolfworks. That's a Connecticut design and build firm, which recently converted to a worker co-op, which is right there commendable. And he's going to be talking about the South Mountain Company. Jamie.
Yeah, so let's start with South Mountain Company, what they do. They make beautifully crafted buildings, most of them homes, while honoring the special place they live and work with a spirit of what I would call devotional responsibility. This includes providing their island of Martha's Vineyard with solar and energy technology. Like many businesses, builders don't start with the idea of becoming a business. They start by making things, usually with wood, and doing it with a couple of pals who love doing it together. The best obsess over doing it well, and soon enough, begrudgingly at first, recognize the necessities of attending to the business. A special few discovered that business is itself a craft and begin obsessing over doing it as thoughtfully as they endeavor to build. South Mountain Company is one of those special companies and started their stumbling sawdust journey just like that. Those obsessions, pursued with persistent vigor over 50 years, demonstrate not just what can be learned and practiced, but how the camaraderie that glued the founders to each other can become its own business structure. Of course, I'm talking about how the company chose the path to worker ownership 35 years ago, and the ways in which that commitment has led to being the company we're celebrating tonight. It's one thing to champion the benefits of a worker cooperative, but it's another thing to actually practice this most intimate form of lived, shared stake democracy. One share, one vote. It's a responsibility and it takes practice. To thrive in business will eventually require valor, great courage in the face of danger. Hard decisions will need to be made. This is the crucible for a worker-owned company that is built to last. What we are celebrating today is the blue sky, but what you need to appreciate as well is that they are here because they were able to navigate the dark ones together. When a group of people with a shared stake in the impact of their decisions proves what they are capable of to themselves, a virtuous circle is set in motion. Not only can they agree on dog policy for the company, they can successfully navigate a management transition that every business is destined to confront, the departure of the company founder. It's a privilege to introduce my dear friends, the new CEO, Deirdre Bohan, and the departing founder, John Abrams, while celebrating all that the worker owners of South Mountain have accomplished together.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and let us now bring in the people behind the 2022 Sustainable Business of the Year Employee-Owned Award, South Mountain Company in West Tisbury, Mass. The former CEO and founder, John Abrams, and Deirdre Bohan, the current CEO. Yay!
Hey, I just
Okay.
want to say two things before
Go.
you get going.
Go.
The first is I just want to say to Lori Hamill, it's amazing. You have done this for, I don't know, 35 years, 40 years, and you keep doing it and you do it with such incredible spirit. Thank you so much for what you do. And the second thing is, this was really interesting because we got this award last year when I was in my 50th year as the CEO of South Mountain Company. But now we're talking about it tonight when I am no longer that and have retired. And Deirdre is the CEO and the steward of a leadership team that is going to take this company to places that I never could have. So I'm so excited for our present and our future.
Well, let's bring in Deirdre. Deirdre, for those who, just about everyone here knows South Mountain, but what does South Mountain do?
So South Mountain designs and builds houses on houses on Martha's Vineyard. We also do commercial and affordable housing work. And we have an energy technology department that does primarily solar panel installation. And I think, as Jamie mentioned, we're a worker-owned cooperative and have been for a long time. So we have 40 employees and about 23 of them are currently worker owners.
So it's been in business for 49 or 50, I think.
Yeah.
John said, and then employee owned for 35 of those years. And what are some of the things that, people in this community probably know, but what are some of the things that South Mountain Company does?
In what way? In terms of our product or in terms of our
your
government?
product, like, yeah. Mhm.
So we build residential houses on Martha's Vineyard, but we also are building employee housing for our local farm hub. We just completed an early childhood center for our social services agency, Martha's Vineyard Community Services. And we're about to embark on 4 units of affordable housing. So a widespread of projects.
And John Abrams, you know, what a lovely thing that it's become worker owned. Why is it good for you that it's worker owned?
It's amazing how good it has been for me. So I had no idea what I was doing when it became worker owned. A couple of people who had been there from the start wanted to stay, but they wanted more of a stake. And I thought, well, why don't we, if we're successful, this will happen over and over again, rather than making them partners, why don't we look for a model and a structure that invites people in over time and that can last. And I guess what's good for me is that it's been the best job in the world with the best people in the world for a very, very long time.
So you have it fills your heart. And Deirdre, you know, how important is sustainability on Martha's Vineyard?
Oh, sustainability on Martha's Vineyard is very, very important. And we've been lucky that John, ever since the founding of South Mountain, has really made that one of our core guiding principles. And the thing about employee ownership, just to go back to what John said, is that we've had an almost complete turnover in the company since its founding. And worker ownership, sustainability, just really concentrating on the health and well-being of our employees have all remained really core parts of our mission and guiding principles, even though there's very few people who are still with the company who've been here for a long time.
Well, because it stays, because what does it do for you that it's worker owned?
I think it gives everybody the feeling and the reality that they're able to influence their work lives to a great degree. And it keeps them very committed to the organization.
Yeah. And talk about the things that you do. We all know and love Martha's Vineyard, and we all know and don't love so much how unaffordable it can be. And I always think about people who have to bring workers over, you know, and house them. And so talk about how your company navigates that.
So we have worked, oh my God, for at least the last 40 years to solve the affordable housing crisis by doing policy work, by doing affordable housing development, by doing fundraising, and by making sure as much as we can that our employees have stable housing. So this has been our core issue, and it's getting to be more difficult and crucial, as it is in every desirable place in the United States of America today. This is and the things that people are doing are astonishing, but how much more we have to do is daunting.
Yeah. And how much of your work, Deirdre, is about keeping Martha's Vineyard livable? You know, there's certain homes that can't or maybe shouldn't be built anymore. I mean, how much is that a part of your work?
We like to make a really good match with our client base so that they believe in the things that we believe in, the sustainability and the year-round employment for our staff, in the real development of craft and opportunity within our workforce. And so we kind of have a get to know you process, and we want to make sure that this is a long-term relationship, that we do the architecture and the building. So we're with you for a 2-year process at the beginning, and then we hope to be with you for the rest of the time that you're here.
Yeah.
So it's really important to us to make sure that we all get it right at the very beginning.
Yeah. And I mean, my heart is just in Martha's Vineyard. I mean, I love it so much. And I'm just, you know, how much do you worry about your future?
Oh my God, we worry about the future of Martha's Vineyard, but we always have. And one of the things that our company has done, it is consistently been a community activist. We have worked to change, we have worked to preserve, we have worked to align with conservation organizations and try to keep the vineyard as strong as it can possibly be, and the local economy as well. So it's an uphill battle, sure. It's Martha's Vineyard, but that is the purpose of this company.
Well,
And I think that we're just so inspired by the people who decide to be here. Today, we lost an employee, a young person who wants to go back to having their own flower farm. And that's just, how can you not want that to happen? You want these people in your community. You want everybody to succeed.
well, we congratulate you and thank you so much. And we'll be thinking about you when we try to get there.
We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have come towards the end of our program. I can't believe it. And I'm kind of sad in a way, because it's just so enervating to hear about all of these great companies. What I want to do now is thank some of the people who have helped us bring you this evening. Vanguard Renewables, UMass 5 College Federal Credit Union, Cabot Creamery Co-operative, Longfellow Health Clubs, Cambridge Naturals, just the great companies that have been the backbone of SBN. I'm supposed to have a toast to the awardees, but I think I'm the only one left at the Florida Gulf Coast University. I think I'm here all by myself and I don't have anything to toast you with. But can we all raise our figurative glasses, and hopefully some of you have some real ones, to toast all the people that we have met tonight or been able to encourage tonight. I encourage you all to go to the chat and talk to people while you can. Annie from SBN, who of course is from Martha's Vineyard, reminds us to thank our presenting sponsor, Vanguard Renewables, event sponsors, UMass 5 College Federal Credit Union, Longfellow Health Clubs, Cabot Creamery Co-operative, and Cambridge Naturals. I think we got them. Please feel free to be able, to congratulate yourselves, some of the winners who I know you're all supporting. I want to remind you that there's a silent auction. And just, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this, because I'm always so charged afterwards when I hear what people are doing. And so my figurative toast, I think I'm locked in here actually for the night. So my toast, my figurative toast to everybody. And I'm just going to bring in Karen Spiller, of course, Principal of KS Consulting, and of course, a beloved figure at SBN, to take us out. Karen, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Robin. And thank you for creating this warm, engaging space, for lifting up the values at the heart of these businesses we're celebrating. And congratulations again. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking about this in ways of just how we come together and why we came together. And we're celebrating and we embrace. And we've been talking consistently about equitable sustainability and what that is. And we breathe it, we live it, and hold it very close as an extension of our spirit selves. And SBN, we at SBN, we come drawn to the commitment and the promise of being a part of something different and contributing to something different and being, whole being something different in service of the wholeness of our communities and honoring our land and our sea. And this evening we have been able to celebrate that something different that our 2022 awardees have brought us. And they do that each and every day. So I want to share a reading with you, Lakota Instruction for Living. Friend, do it this way. That is, whatever you do in life, do it the very best you can with both your heart and your mind. And if you do it that way, the power of the universe will come to your assistance if your heart and mind are in unity. And when one sits in the hoop of the people, one must be responsible because all of the creation is related. All the hurt of one is the hurt of all. And the honor of one is the honor of all. And whatever we do affects everything in the universe. So if you do it that way, that is, if you truly join your heart and your mind as one, whatever you ask for, that's the way it's going to be. And this was passed down from the white buffalo calf woman. And so let's continue to join our hearts and minds, lifting up and celebrating the sustainability in all of us. And thank you again for joining us and celebrating the 2022 Sustainability Business Awardees. Much, much gratitude for the work you do each and every single day.